In other news now in the world, the Russian President Vladimir Putin was welcomed by his Turkish counterpart Recep Erdogan this evening in Istanbul as the two set off to inaugurate a gas pipeline that will open up in a new export path for Russian gas into Turkey and Europe. The two leaders are expected to discuss the ongoing situation in Syria as well and in Libya, and as well as tensions in Iraq and Iran. Putin's visit to Turkey comes after a meeting with the Syrian President Bashar Assad at a Russian base in the Syrian capital of Damascus earlier on Tuesday. It is his second visit to the war-torn country where Russian troops have been fighting alongside with the Syrian government forces since 2015, when Moscow intervened decisively on the Syrian president's behalf in the civil war. Meanwhile, Turkey has sent forces into North Syria to push back Kurdish-led forces that have been backed by the US. And according to a Kremlin spokesperson, during the meeting, both the leaders discussed military reports on developments in various regions between themselves.
مرة أخرى أشكر الرئيس بوتين على زيارته اليوم إلى دمشق، وأتمنى لكم ولكل الشعب الروسي كل التوفيق والنجاح في حياتكم وفي بناء بلدكم العظيم.
And as we said, the visit comes amid heightened tensions between Iran, a key Syrian ally, and the United States following the killing of a top Iranian general in the US airstrike in neighboring Iraq.
هذا ليس مستغرب، فرجالكم أيضا حاربوا الإرهاب النازي منذ بضعة عقود وانتصروا عليه وأنقذوا العالم وأنقذوا أوروبا في ذلك. اليوم نواجه إرهاب مشابه ولكن الأدوات مختلفة، فعلينا أن نتابع هذه الحرب التي قد تكون بالنسبة لنا في سوريا حربا وطنية لكي ننقذ أيضا العالم من خطر الإرهاب.
And Putin's recent tour also underscores that Russia's military presence in the Middle East remains unchanged, even amidst escalating regional conflicts, while Ankara has to walk a tightrope as both nations expand their military footprint in the Middle East to protect interests that don't always coincide. And Dan Ashby is now joining us live from Moscow for the latest on this. And well, Dan, President Putin, they're leveraging his position with his allies and partners, and of course in the region where the US has receded or left a vacuum, and particularly his relationship with Turkey, very important at this point.
Yes, exactly. A huge day for Russia and Turkey. As you say, the Turk Stream gas pipeline officially coming online. It will cement the relationship between the two countries even more. And that is surprising because Turkey, of course, is in NATO, has more recently been seen as a US ally, but is becoming more closer to Russia. They have traded the S-400 Russian weapon systems. That was really controversial for the US when Turkey bought a Russian anti-missile system. And of course they are starting to cooperate more on Syria. Now, they don't see exactly eye to eye. For instance, Russia and Syrian forces are moving north towards Idlib in Syria. They want to kill what they call our masses of terrorists in Idlib, while Turkey is very afraid that that's going to lead to a mass migration and a massacre of civilians in Idlib. But they are cooperating. They're talking together. They're trying to work more closely. So I think today is symbolic of that relationship.
Right, absolutely. And Dan, now the President Putin, of course, coming after visiting the Syrian President Bashar Assad, that relationship, in a sense, as you said, intertwined with his relationship with the Turkish president at the moment, and the other important agenda, of course, being what's happening in the Middle East.
Yes, exactly. It was a big moment for President Putin to appear in Syria. He hardly ever visits, and he appeared on Russian Christmas Day, the 7th of January. So it shows that Syria is going to be a priority for President Putin this year. But there are big question marks for Russia. It seems to most analysts and experts that the war is almost won. As I say, there's this offensive in Idlib, but otherwise the Russian and Syrian forces, with help from Iran, have captured most of the Syrian territory back. The problem now is the peace, though, the political solution. Turkey is going to be key to that. Assad is going to be key. Iran, Israel. There are so many different countries who have stakes in Syria, and it could be very hard for Russia to find an agreement suitable for all. So I think President Putin is keen to show that Russia's not just a warring country, but one that can broker progressive peace for the future. So yes, that was the significance of the Syrian visit. And then you get the Iran situation, as you say, escalating tensions between the US and Iran. And Russia is keen to try calm things down there and stand by its ally Iran.
Right, absolutely, Dan. Thanks very much indeed for joining us with the latest there on President Putin's visit to Syria and, of course, now to Turkey as well.